Hello everyone, I'm Palpatine001, aka the Senator, and we are back with City Stitching, part 1.5. Part 1 was, and this is going to be a series, starting the ambitious scheme of stitching the city together. In part 1 we stitched the city centre to Newmarket in the creation of Solarian Dale, the Uptown, Solarian Springs, and Cape Solarian Heights. And the purpose of the city stitch is we're going to stitch around from the Port District through Pearlcrest, downtown, Newmarket, up to Alden Bluff and Sheffield Square. Sheffield Square will be done in part 2, out to the regional airport and to Brightwater. With part 3 doing the big stitch up from the city centre and Solarian Springs all the way up to Monaco, Monaco Heights, and Monaco West and Wirral. At the same, and then part 4 we'll start moving back around with Solarian Shores. We have the rocket base and another port, as we need to upgrade the port on this side, and then around to Karaka before we do the last bits back out toward, following the motorway back out to the entrance and the eventual stitch up to Cape Solaria. Now before I do something, I want to check something before we get going. And I wonder if it's going to allow me to do it. No, I'll get it eventually. Yes, it will allow me to form a new connection out, although whether I want to is something else. So that is the idea of the City Stitch series. Again, in part 1 we stitched the downtown up to the city centre, and we stitched the city centre to the Newmarket by creating Solarian Dale. We also formed Solarian Springs, Uptown, Cape Solarian Heights, and a little bit on Cape Solarian Lakes, given the city is known as Cape Solaria. So everything is down, ready to go. So in 1.5 we're going to do a review and a walkthrough on what we've done between as we lead up to part 2, because some things were done off screen as well. So in part 1.5, one of the first things I did is I altered the tram line around between Newmarket and downtown. So the old way it used to run is it used to go to downtown, then it used to come out through here and would do a big loop around Pearlcrest in this direction, back up to here, and out it goes. Now the problem is it made a very long line, a bit too long for a tram line, and we were starting to have major problems through between here and here with the metro stations. It's quiet at the moment, and we'll run the simulator as we go through this, creating problems through here. So what we did was we moved it out to, and I'm likely to make this a Broadway connection in the end. So we moved it out and we created a loop back into Newmarket where you can transfer over bus services, the 2 loop services. So we have one going that way to compensate for the Newmarket downtown tram being shortened up and truncating inside here. If anything, I'm going to probably... No, I'll leave that there. And yeah, so we created another loop as well. So you've got trams now running in both directions. So that was the first thing we did. So is, yeah, shorten this up and ended up in Newmarket proper itself. Don't worry, you can still transfer to other trams and that to get around the old part, the first founding part of the city. The second part was creating a loop to replace the services lost. As you can see, the trams are running very well and still moving a lot of people. Of course, I've got to give them, although these guys will have, no, I've got to rename them, which we'll do today. The second or third thing we did is the metro used to go up to here, up to Brightwater Station. We've extended it originally out to Karaka Station, but then we're going to end it out into a little development that's going to end up most likely through here, and we're also probably going to run a train line through here as well as this port gets going. Now just one moment, team, we've just seemed to have buckled ourselves. Okay, so just one moment, this is why we do our reviews. Dropped on the ground. Let's go back to the piping. Turn it back on. And this is always fun with each other. Shouldn't be at... Oh, okay, we are approaching capacity. Struggling to get it out. So, I was going to do... Okay, so this is a case of we actually need to drop a new wastewater sewage treatment plant. Which is fine. I'll just make sure we... That's, yep, we were just out of capacity. So as I was saying, yes, we've extended the metro line out, ready to do development down here in due course, and I've just realized that was probably not a wise idea. So welcome to live planning on the way out. Actually, anything, this will not be hard to work by. It's got to go. It's got to go out there anyway, so we'll. Okay. So yeah. That's been extended out. We will bring the rail line across and of course connect that up and out. So that was also done. We've also added the last of the two signature factories in. Whoops, I should not keep doing that. So we've added the pharma factory out at Karaka, backed up with a small amount of heavy industry out here. And we've also then added on this side with extra industry being added, we've added the switch on electrical factory, which is close to the oil producing facilities out here, including the oil refinery. Although that produces petrochemicals, plastics are produced in the factory. Oh no, yeah, the factory says that. Now this was always going to come up because we've got a bit of a demand switch around at the moment, and we've still got a lot of people moving in. So we do have concentrated office demand coming back that we need to keep of. Also, we have the new rocket base being built. The cargo trucks are struggling. We have the new rocket base that's been built at the moment. There is no rocket on the pad. Yes, there is a rocket on the pad at the moment. So that is due to launch at any time. So we might just sit here and just keep an eye on that, although I'm in fact actually due to move around, so hopefully we jump back quickly. We have added also a new recycling plant, so we did a bit of infrastructure capacity building as well. So we have a new recycling plant on its way. And at the same time, we also added in a new post office. A new post office here. The post office system is still actually technically bugged. So technically they both do work quite at high capacity, so I will be adding another one out here. So this will become a small little office and industrial park. Also, we've added the last of the universities. This will help fill out this oriented development. So we do have the subway line sitting in here, but we have the medical university now bubbling away, and of course with all the health effects to go with it. There goes the rocket. We have liftoff. So there he goes, he's on his way for the next mission. You'll also see we've got office demand shooting up now. I'm going to knock it out in one, hopefully knock it out a little bit with a signature tower, which I'll do in a minute. And we've also, as I mentioned earlier, just placed down the new port, the Cedar Street port, which is going to replace the East port, which is sorely needing an upgrade because it's just completely overwhelmed. We also, at the same time, strengthened up the infrastructure on our big major port by adding in a new... okay, that's gone and bottled itself, so what we need to do is just quickly fix this up. And we're going to probably have to wait till they despawn themselves to fix that particular problem up. And the final thing we need to do is this: we need to go through our lines manager to do a review on what's going on. Now, before we get going, we will do the last thing. See, residential comes up and down. It's just bopping up and down as people move in. But the last thing we will do is go to... yeah, I think that's the low stuff that I'm going to do later on. Is we're going to add in the last big office tower. And we'll put them next to the university and the subway station. And actually, before we do, we'll just form... and I'm going to use a pedestrian road for this. As we can, and then we'll shove this big boy in. And that is him in there. In fact, we will actually also put in a... what we'll do is do a roundabout. Okay, that did not quite work. I need to... don't need to be underground for that. Just need to go over. more. Okay, get in that large roundabout. And what we will do is see how he goes for parking. In fact, if anything, I will add the parking automatically. I'm sure I had that old big one sitting in there. Yeah, I do. That just adds it in. Also, I think it has a bonus effect of parks. Yes, I'm going to charge you that much for parking too. Why does it always do that to me? And one more time. And what we might do there, just to give it a bit of a kicker, hasn't dulled office demand, which was, no, that was the idea. All right. That might do so now. We'll see how it goes. So I said they've got transit there. All I've got to do is just shove in a post box, shove in a actually, I will move that taxi stand because that is going to create a blockage. Because okay, so that's the last of the office house. So that's when we start doing the mega stitch up towards. Actually, it will be done through here first, and then we'll backtrack down. But that's slated that off for now. So that's where we had got up to with part 1 and part 1.5. As I said, demand keeps jumping up and down as required. Which leads us to the next part, which I do periodically, is I need to check how the transit system's going, and we're going to be probably shooting into nighttime very soon, but we need to check the transit system. Alright, so this is using the transport line manager, and we're going to hide all, and we're going to go through the services one by one, checking each of the lines on how they are going. In fact, before I even do that, there was one thing I was going to do, just to help alleviate pressure a bit. And we are going to pull up a bus route. And we are going to... Actually, before I even do that, does it have... Yes, it already does, so I don't need to worry about that. And that is actually running... Shove another 2 on that. we actually are doing a transit check at the moment. We're actually checking to see how our intercity services are faring up. That's okay, which means I should probably do an intercity service out of this one. In fact, I'm going to just reinforce things up a bit. It's a long one, but the intercity services can run for quite a long time. All the way back down. That's the city centre, so we're nearly there. Sheffield Square, the airport. Not have a when I lose track of things. And then if I'm a good boy, I should. Alright, we'll let that run. In the meantime, we're going to jump down to the transport line, manage, and we're going to start checking in on everything. So we'll start with the buses. Okay, so this is the transport line manager, and we're going to go through one by one and check to see how these are going. So at the moment, this is where it runs, and of course we've got all the options, and I want to see the vehicles. As you can see, running through, they're running okay for the limitations of the game. And then you can see on how this is all going. Bus line 2. Is this the Newmarket downtown? Okay, so we'll give it a okay. Oh, that's gonna play havoc with that. Okay, that's just a note to watch. You can see we are hitting up capacity. So stop when we're getting over 50, starting to hit 50% or more, this is when we start having issues. I think it also might be rush hour in the game. Yes, it is. So we've got 20 on, and as you can see, it is all running pretty flat out at the moment. And this is again where the stops are and also where the districts are, but I'm not looking at where stops are. I'm looking at thing. And rule of thumb between bus stops, no more than 400 meters, although you do get it periodically. For the most part, the fleet is holding up. I don't need to worry about it at the moment. It is rush hour, and it is also supplemented by the metro line. Bus line 3. So this is Newmarket and the Port District. Oh, that's a real clanger in the back. Again, we have another look, and we go through this one by one. 439, vehicle count is 15, it's 43, so we are actually filling up quite a lot. So this is telling me we need to put more buses on here. So that is bus line 3. So bus line 3 runs between, where is it? Newmarket and the port, which is a very congested place and actually needs, it's also got the metro station right there as well, which is another line we'll need to check. Line usage is at 44%, so that line is pretty much maxing out, but I might need to do a little bit of reconfig with that, because this is just causing congestion left, right, and center off this, which is just helping no one. And the way they're coming in, probably the best way to do it is bring in a new yeah, see, they're trying to get out. A new connection somewhere. Oh, there we go. Through here. So this is, again, this is why you do your reviews. I'm going to actually pause that for the moment. Brightwater loop. So this is servicing up at Brightwater. Data. Settings, actually, I need map options. Give me the vehicle count. Data. Again, not too bad at the moment. 28%, 3.3. So we're okay there. And then as you work your way through the list, we can see what is going right and what is going wrong. So let me go through each of these lines. It's going to take a little bit, and then I will get right back to you. Now, we've just found one that is in a bit of a crisis. Downtown Sheffield Square, which is coming up on the thing. According to, if I go back to the standard charts, and this is how much we're moving. A lot. We're moving 341,000 people. But if we scroll down, you look at the percentages, 109%. Well, that is a lot. So that is let's get to it. So this is Sheffield Square. So this is this service in here that is moving an absolute bucket load. Between as it comes through here, which is deeply ironic, given there is also a metro service in here as well. So that is moving a lot of people. So that is telling me that could be very well up for a tram service, especially as I get ready to upgrade it. We'll throw everything at it, and hopefully we can clear that up. That is the most I have ever seen. Do that again. Move on a bus service. So that is extremely a lot. So this is, yeah, it is effectively asking for trams to be run down here because they just hold a lot more, and that is going to be done in 1.8, stitching the city together in 1.8. Actually, 1.6. It's actually going to be done before what I had set down for 1.7. So we're going to dedicate 1.6 to the tram upgrade and then 1.7 on the walkthroughs. But in the meantime, I'll keep checking through the paths, and it looks like these checks were long overdue. That's a new one. 143 pounds. Oh dear. Meanwhile, as we check back at the trams are doing just as busy as well. So we've actually got to do quite a bit of upgrading before we actually progress with the stitching, because this is why I like doing the check stream rush hour, because it tells you how well the system can hang on. And as you can see, we are just absolutely straining the system. Flip a duck. Straining the system, and I'm going to stop there. It looks like I'm going to have to go back to the conventional list and just have a look, because we are just absolutely straining the system, and it is just absolutely nuts. And it just shows we are just simply not keeping up with services. I'm going to have to throw everything on that, see if we can get it at least a bit under control. If that fails at 14, then we have to step up to the next set of units just to get the capacity going. But overall, I suppose the point being in this and doing the trans review, this is a good thing that we are moving so many people about, but it's just at the same time also a little bit on the nuts side as well. If I was to go to the census, and this is just taken now, personal vehicles is only 5,400. The amount of people taking public transport outstrips it by 6 times, and that is absolutely what we want to see. And of course, this is still inside the rush hour, because rush hour is 4 to 7 and 6 till 9. Well, actually 7 till 10 if you want to do it. If you want to do it properly. So we have, yeah, these are just getting absolutely smashed over, and at the same time, the bus that's going up to here, I think it's this one here, let's just jump back, is getting absolutely smashed out as well. But, and there is a but, it is, I did have it, whoops, designed. You can see the tram, so that tram comes in this way, and then you'll have there's another tram line designed to go out once I get to it. Yeah, designed to go back out to Newmarket. So I think we might be upgrading that tram line a little bit. I just need to move those a little bit sooner than I wanted, but that just shows you the excellent dynamics of the city, and quite proud of myself actually that we managed that. The only thing is with the is this junction's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, so what I'm going to have to do is what I'll do is create a loop round in here, and we'll just bring it out through here just to sort that out. But yeah, that is where we at with City Stitching 1.5, doing some infrastructure capacity building, checking through all our stats, and as we can see, yeah, we need to do a few upgrades, and as well as bringing some extra stuff along, given things like office demand is back. We've also extended our infrastructure, this infrastructure building, and we also have the rocket base built as well. We saw a rocket go off earlier, and it's about to go off again. Where next? Well, we were going to do City Stitching 1.7, which was going to do the walkthroughs. Now, a walkthrough is, and I'll take it through here now. I just need to remember what it is. This is me not remembering stuff to save myself. Free mode is Alt F. So we go. This is set down at my height, so 1.8 meters, and we start walking around the city. That was going to be for 1.7. However, due to our public transport system running, well, it's actually not running, well, it is running, but straining at the amount of people that are using it. Some services are actually over 100% in places. We're going to do City Stitching 1.6 and upgrading now two sets of busways into tramways, and making sure everything else is A-OK. I should have this running. I'll just get run over. City Stitching 1.7, we will drop down to first person view, and we will go walking about aspects of our city. At the moment I am walking towards Solarian Tower, which is the city centre. In the meantime, yeah, that always happens, it always resets out to the water, which is okay. And I have an idea that I also, I'm just wondering if I had disabled it. I did. I'll keep night and day view disabled at the moment for 1.6, and we'll drop back into day and night view for 1.7. In the meantime, plan safe, build safe, drive safe, and in most cases, walk safe. And we will catch you very soon. Yeah, again with 1.6 and replacing those buses with tramways.